Hello Hungry Bitches, Steph here. Today I am going to show you how I make my protein bites. So for myself, I have a bit of a sweet tooth and I find that I'm often looking for chocolate or something to satisfy this. So this kind of helps. It's an alternative for me to turning to a chocolate bar or something else full of sugar. So what I do is I keep my overripe bananas. So I don't know about you, but these gross me out. I won't eat them like this. Just even the smell of them to show you, bleh. But delicious for these protein bars. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna open up your overripe bananas, and to be honest, the riper they are, the better they are, because they help add that sweetness to your protein bites. So we're just gonna open up three. So three overly ripe bananas. You can do it with two, but I find three is kind of the perfect texture for me. So you're going to take your bananas and you're just going to mash them up. Now, depending on how ripe the bananas are, is going to depend on how moist the bites turn out to be. So the more ripe they are, the more liquid you're going to get out of them, which means you're either going to want to bake them a little bit longer or add a little bit more protein powder or a little bit more peanut butter to help kind of thicken them up a bit. So it kind of depends on you and what you want the texture to be when you're eating them. I prefer them a little bit on the softer side anyway, so I like them to be overly ripe. So you're just going to mash them up like so. To have them a little bit chunky is fine. They don't need to be completely done. So I've got my bananas in here. Now I'm going to add my protein powder. Depending on what protein powder you use, doesn't matter, not going to make a difference. Just the size of the scoop matters. So some protein powders come with a little tiny scoop. If you have a small scoop, use two. I have a big one, so I'm just going to use one, and I do a nice heaping scoop. So one nice heaping scoop of protein powder goes into my bananas. That is that. Now from there, I'm going to take a cup of peanut butter. You can use whatever you want. You can use almond butter, wild butter, whatever. But because of the ripeness of my bananas, I'm doing a pretty big cup full of peanut butter. So I'm just going to add that in. Again, if you add the peanut butter in and you feel like it still looks too runny, add some more peanut butter, add some more protein powder to thicken it up a bit if you want. And now I'm just going to mix all of that together. So if you wanted, you could end your recipe there. They are sweet on their own just like that, and for some people that's enough. For me, of course, I add half of a cup of chocolate chips. So you're going to add that in. If you don't want as many, add a quarter of a cup. Don't put any in. If you can do that, bravo to you. Like I said, the bananas are nice and sweet, so you don't have to worry about not being able to crave that, or sorry, not being able to cure that crave for something sweet there. But the chocolate chips do help add to that. Just because I'm kind of one of those people that when I have it in my mind that I want chocolate, chocolate is what I want. So this helps me. Alright, so I have that all mixed together now, and you can see that it's quite thick. It's not going to come out of the bowl completely. So that's kind of the texture that you want it to be. Alright, I've been preheating my oven to 350, and I have sprayed my muffin tin. So you're going to take your muffin pan, spray it, or use some coconut oil, and now I'm just going to go ahead and scoop my mixture into that. So because there's no flour or anything else in these, they're not going to rise or anything, so they're going to be the exact size that you scoop them in. And I'm just using a spoon and putting a big glop in. You're just going to go ahead and evenly spread that out throughout your pan. Now technically you don't have to cook these for a certain amount of time because there's not anything in them that requires a certain temperature to be cooked at or whatever, like there's no egg or anything like that in it. You're kind of free to take them out whenever you want, and you might want to play around with the recipe until you get the right texture. I've made them so that they're really, really soft. Personally, I like them better soft, but I've also made them where I've kept them in and they've been a little bit thicker. I just find that because of the peanut butter, they kind of tend to be a little bit drier that way. If you leave them a little bit more so on the moist side, then they turn out a little bit nicer. So typically what I do is I set my timer for about 12 minutes and then I check them at that point and I see what the center looks like. If it's still moving at that point, if I can still jiggle the center, then I put them back in for another few minutes. But typically speaking, no more than 15 minutes is what I need for mine. So I have them all evenly scooped out into my muffin pan now, and I'm going to pop them in the oven. I'm going to set my timer. I'm going to set those ones for 12 minutes, and we'll see how they look. Alright, so our protein bites are done. They have cooled. What you're going to do now is you're going to take them out of the pan, and they're going to look like so. Alright, so just little tiny round bites, like a little 2-bite brownie. And now what you're going to do is take a freezer bag or some kind of container and you're going to lay them out flat in your container and you can pop them in the freezer. Then you can take them out individually, throw it in your lunch for a snack, grab it. I don't mind eating them out of the freezer, to be honest with you. But what I usually do is I bring these with me on days that I have multiple classes that I'm teaching in a row. For me, being a Zumba instructor and jumping around, I find that eating a big meal before my classes doesn't work for me. So I have something quick like this, all right? Not meant to be a meal, guys. Not meant to be, you know, oh, it's just protein powder and bananas. I'm fine, I can eat 10. No, treat it as a snack. Use it to kick those cravings. Use it as a quick snack between classes, whatever it is, but don't indulge in them, okay? I'm not telling you that they're the perfect healthy meal. I'm telling you that it's a nice alternative to going and grabbing a chocolate bar. I hope you enjoy them.